Well, good evening, Linda. Or I guess maybe good afternoon for you.
Well, late
It's
afternoon.
a good evening for
So,
me, actually. And everybody, welcome to our latest Illumination series. We have titled this one Momentum versus Stagnation. And Linda, I've spoke about this quite a bit actually in the recent past. And we've all been in situations in which we become a little bit stagnant and don't focus on momentum. And I think it's very important for individuals in this place called Earth to keep moving, um, despite any setbacks you might have, any situations come up that could be negative or really positive. Don't get stuck in one place for too long a period of time. And that's really what it's all about. So we're going to discuss that a little bit. And Linda, I know you have a little bit to add, and then I'll jump in as well. But it's a great topic. I know you and I have discussed it on different topics, of course,
right.
in our lives that affect us in many different ways. So, what are your thoughts, ma'am?
Well, I think my thoughts kind of I've always from the things that have happened and occurred in my life, and even the big losses, I've really done a lot of thinking and spiritual work and movement towards what is our soul here to do, you know? And I know that's not a question that a lot of people really ask, but it really has become more prominent for me. And of course, my age does a lot of that too. You want to know that when you come to whatever the end of my lifetime is, that I have gone to the point of where I can be received with there's always a judgment at the end, how well did we do? What did we do? And we'll do a review of our life at that point in time. And so I guess I'm always wondering and thinking about it. But one thing that really stuck with me on this momentum versus stagnation is that, there were times I didn't even want to get up out of bed, but I knew that if I did not get my feet on the ground and move toward that shower, I would be lost and I would never want to move.
Great.
And so I had to do a lot of talking to myself that it's not okay to stay stuck. I wouldn't be honoring anybody if I didn't do and live my life to the fullest when someone else's life was cut short.
Mm,
And so I told myself that you got to keep moving. I don't know what it's going to look like, but you've got to keep moving. And so I find even with people that I coach and I work with that they get to that point and they're just stuck and they just can't seem to let things go and can't find a way forward.
uh,
So, what I want people to understand is that there's no better honor that you can make for anyone in your life, and as well as yourself, than to just take one step, then another, and then another.
mm.
And they don't have to be huge. Just say, I'm going to live this life to be who I'm meant to be, whatever that is. And I think what they'll find is that doors will start opening, things will start happening, and joy will start entering back in their life.
Totally agree with you. And I've been there where you're out, sitting around the house or in a hotel and you're not feeling it that day, right?
All
And
right.
you're like, well, what are my options here? If I get some work done, this, what I found is, and I told this earlier, I think we were speaking maybe yesterday or this afternoon, is I just go, okay. And what I found that getting out of that environment that to you feels safe, but oftentimes maybe it isn't that safe because you've created a situation where you're
Mhm.
overthinking situations and overanalyzing, which I tend to do. I think you know that. I think you do too a little bit, Linda.
Oh,
But
I do
that's
too.
that's that's another illumination series, I think. And I just find that I think you take one more step. Just for me, like leave the house, go do something, and it tends to bring me back to center. And I've always believed that um, every action creates a reaction.
Absolutely.
And in most cases, if your intentions are positive, which typically they really are, I don't have ill will towards anyone or anything, then it's almost the force of nature that has to bring something back into your life. So there's another thing I like to say is that the harder you work, the luckier you get. Well, it's not really luck, but we use that phrase because you're putting in the work mentally, physically, and at some point the universe has to reward you.
Hmm.
It's just the laws of nature. And then I've found that to be the case where I manifest something. It's not going to happen that day. Then all of a sudden you get a call or somebody comes to the mail that's positive. You're like, oh, where'd this come from? That's right. Last month I was thinking about that. Well, it comes to fruition if you're putting the work in and the time in, and just move yourself forward away from that place of stagnation. That's where things go to die, quite honestly.
Well, absolutely. And
Um,
people don't realize how powerful their thoughts are, their words are, you know. And when we do all that self-talk and that chatter, we
hmm,
can tear ourselves down, and everybody's imperfect. We're not
of
perfect.
course.
We're human. And so it's acknowledging that we can't change what we don't recognize. So acknowledge it and say, I am okay. But one of the most powerful quotes that I've found that I love and just I've even put it on my signatures and everything is it's what you think about, you bring about.
Hmm, it's true.
And and so I've started years ago to let that kind of be my guide because what am I really thinking about? Because the more I think about it, it's going to come to me. So, for example, if I'm constantly worried about money and I'm fearful and I don't have enough, I don't have enough, we're like a genie because we can manifest. So, what are we going to get?
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. You
Well,
know,
nickels are rubbed together, I guess, if you're lucky.
exactly. And
It's so true.
I
But
just,
it's easier said than done, isn't it, Linda?
oh my
Because
gosh,
I think
yes.
we tend to people like ourselves and others that are out there that I'm sure that are listening. We're hardest on ourselves. We
Yeah.
are because we're positive people in most cases. We're proudful people. We want to do well by others. So when we're not having that type of a outcome that we want for that particular situation, then we tend to kind of beat ourselves up, and that has never done me good at all. It
Yeah,
actually
me
creates more
either.
problems. Or do you agree? I mean,
Oh yeah.
it
I mean,
that,
self-esteem,
so
everything.
when I catch myself doing it now, I'm getting a lot better at it. I just cut myself off, just stop it, and then I'll just go do something. It could be something mundane, quite honestly, but it tends to help and get those negative thoughts out of your mind. And man, I'm a testament to it. I know you're too, Linda. That it does help
Yeah, it really
tremendously.
does. And when you just kind of, those of us that are left brain, we're in that logic, more than we're in our right brain. I have to talk to myself. I'm not listening
I
anymore.
do too.
I'm
I
done.
do too.
I'm not
Done.
listening to you.
No mas. No
Do
mas,
not
man.
talk to me about that again. I'm
I don't
talking
want
to
to hear it.
myself.
It's kind of like I got throw it out of my brain or something. Get out of here, man. And I do have people that remind me of that too. Come on now, Lenny. You're going down that path. I'm like, yeah, I probably should check that. But I've become more astute to now checking myself,
Yeah, I'm getting better
because
at it.
there's things in our lives that, let's face it, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. And so, but if we focus on those negatives, they become the big picture, and we don't want that to happen.
So I think just what I'd like to just leave with somebody is just doesn't your momentum doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to many times have a clear direction or a path. It's just face forward and take a step
Yeah,
and then
get
another,
moving.
and then that momentum will start going. Because I'll tell you from my perspective, even though I love to write, never knew how ever I would get a song into the world because you can write all day long, but who's going to sing it? How's it going to get there? So you
We
know
found that
what?
person too.
Yeah, that person came to me. I mean,
Sure
we
did.
came together. So just have that little bit of hope, even though you're still down here, not quite trusting, don't really have that faith. Just have that little bit of hope and just take those steps forward.
I'm with you 100%. And that's my message as well, is just if you're having those thoughts creep into your head that are not positive, just go do something, and you'll find that just getting out of that environment that you created for that particular moment, break it up, and create
Yeah,
kinetic energy, and positive energy will come back to you. I promise you, it will happen. And then make a habit of it.
that's
It's
right.
harder. It's hard to do, but you just have to do it. Anytime you feel like, hey man, this is not the day. Cut that stuff out. Boom. Go take one more step forward and take a deep breath and just know that, quite honestly, it's already written anyway. So what's there to worry about?
Yeah. And just remember what you think about, you bring about.
I like that. Well, thank you, Linda.
Okay, thank you, everybody.